Hey everybody. Hey guys, I think for the first time in my Facebook Live history, I am late. I had it scheduled for 1 p.m. and I'd like to say it was technical difficulties. It was, however, me taking some time with my wife and eating pizza, not having our phones, and just enjoying each other. So I don't feel too bad for being late. I feel a little bit um, like I need to step up my game today. But I'm here and we're going to get right into it here in just a minute as I fix my nose. Gotta fix that. All right, guys. I wanted to give everyone a minute to jump on. Today, as always, very exciting here at Even Steven Money. I wanted to start everything out, let you guys know who I am. My name is Steven, aka Even Steven Money. We are here live on Money Talk Friday, where every week we have a new topic. I share my story, recommendations, action items, and questions from you. Also pretty exciting, it's kind of a combo this week since I had my parents visiting last week here in Miami, Florida. Took some extra time with them. We're going to be talking a little bit about spending less on groceries or beating your budget, and then brick by brick, your guide to financial freedom, your ultimate guide, not just a regular guide. Hey guys, for those who don't know who I am, what are you doing here? I'm kidding. My name is Steven, and after paying off over $100,000 in consumer debt, my wife and I found our version of financial freedom, which led me to my own money coach business, which is what I do today, where I help clients pay off debt faster, save more money than ever before, all so they can live a better life today and retire comfortable tomorrow. Most importantly, start out not only with all of that, but thank you for watching, listening, checking out the blog posts, checking out, sharing, liking, everything. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. It's important to me. I don't know why I just looked over there, right? But we have some I think big news at Even Steven Money. So part of the blog post that I did last week, which was spending less on groceries, is called Beat Last Year's Budget. It was part of J Money from Budgets Are Sexy, who's a friend of mine and also a very, very popular personal finance blogger. He has been doing it for forever. Now he's been doing it for a few years. And he wrote a post not too long back about one of the readers actually said they wanted to beat last year's budget. And I thought, like, what a great, that's actually part of my financial goals. Like, what a great piece of financial advice or something that you can do. And I wanted to incorporate it not only in my life, but I wanted to give everyone on Even Steven Money who reads the opportunity to do the same thing. And I opened it up the last couple of weeks to be able to share with what the budget item that you wanted to beat, and I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But I wanted to share that I had a big giveaway, and what was really cool about it was I said, hey, share with me what you have, and there's 2 people who came and they shared that their budget topics, which were, and I won't use names, I would contact them directly. I'll use first names, I guess. But they wanted to reduce their money, reduce their spending on groceries, which, exactly just like me. And then the other person wanted to reduce their spending on extracurricular activities. I thought, both great items, and with the big giveaway, I'm giving away $50, $50 giveaway. Jay Money also got on board, great guy, was able to immediately said, hey, how can I help? And contributed as well. So this is a joint, kind of a joint giveaway. And because I get to run the giveaway, I thought the best thing to do, instead of giving one of the two people $50, I am going to actually split it up. I'm going to reach out to them individually. But so the winners are Heidi, who will be winning $25, as well as Linda. Make sure I should double check. Yes, Linda, double check your name. So I will be reaching out and getting your information so I can send that money your way to help with your budget item, to help to beat last year's budget. You got a little extra cash. And I'm excited about that. I like to do things that are fun here on Even Steven Money, and I think that is one of them. I'm really happy for you guys sharing, reaching out. It makes me feel, it makes me feel like I'm helping other people, and I appreciate that. It makes me happy, right? So I should let me add in the comments the two blog posts, and you can of course check them out at evenstevenmoney.com. You'll be able to get there through the blog itself. So, but here is your spend less on groceries link, and then I'm also going to talk about. There's actually a lot of cool stuff going on in Even Steven Money. It's getting better and better by the day. So I'm pumped about that. And then this is this week's post, which is, and these are going to tie together, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But this is going to be, as I scroll down, brick by brick, your ultimate guide to financial freedom. So these are the items I'll be talking about. Hopefully you'll be listening. But yeah, so what I like to do when talking about really diving into what we're going to talk about today, I like to read the introduction to one of the blog posts, really to give you an idea of what lies ahead. So here it goes. Now I'm reading this one. Each year, my wife and I make financial goals for the year ahead. In 2018, the year of change, it led to some pretty crazy goals becoming a reality. One of my goals was to make health and fitness a priority in my life, which I did. The end result included a transformation and being in the best shape of my life, which is great. I feel great, very happy. But hey, this didn't come without sacrifice, and in this case, a hefty grocery budget. That is why this year, one of my main financial goals is to spend less on groceries. So I'm going to jump over. Got something else I want to check out. So this year, how did this all occur? So I was reading Jay Money from Budgets Are Sexy, who I just mentioned previously. Obviously, if you're checking out personal finance and getting better with your money, another great place to check out. But one of his readers actually wrote in, and part of their financial goals was to beat last year's budget challenge, which was I thought it was a pretty great idea, and it really lined up with my financial goals this year. So I wanted to participate, and I thought a great way to also have other people really get involved as well. And so to beat last year's budget, I wanted to give the rules. Here's are the hard and fast rules, and you can see how they apply to us. But so if you want to try it out, you pick a category of your spending that you desperately want to improve. Now for me, I chose my grocery budget. And then rule number 2 is to search for records on how much you spent on last year around this time. So this is going to tie together, but yeah, so tracking your expenses. And then as well, so now for the next month, the rule is to commit spending less in that category. Now, this is my year goal, but one step at a time. Just do it for 1 month. And so you have the rules there. And when I mentioned, actually, I should say this too. When I mentioned tracking your expenses, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but I want to put it out there just so you have it. I talk about it all the time. It's what I use. It's what I coach. It's what I recommend. And so this is personal capital. It's an affiliate link. So if you have $100,000 in your portfolio and your stock investments, when you add it, I possibly could get a commission. I don't care too much about that, I'll be honest. But it is something that I use. So I wanted to have that in there for you guys. Hey, as always, thank you for joining, Scott. Appreciate it. Always waving, maybe waving. I appreciate anyone who's checking us out, checking me out, checking out Even Steven Money, and really just growing your knowledge and getting better with your personal finance and supporting Even Steven Money. So I absolutely appreciate that. But we are talking about beating last year's budget. So this is kind of like I guess talking about money sometimes it's tough. Now I do it a lot more than other people, but I don't always share numbers. A lot of it's percentages or just general topics. But I think sharing this kind of brought me, or sharing this today is really bringing me to where I wanted to improve it. So last year, I really thought my budget got out of hand for my groceries, and it was close to $800 a month. Now, there's just two of us. There's me and my wife. And now that amount, one, it's great that I actually know that number because of my tracking of personal capital. But it was for me, it was too much. Last year I had budgeted, we started out at probably right around $450 and then realized how much we were spending and, decided to allocate more money, decided to make it $550 and then noticed it was $650. And that happened for a number of reasons. One, I will say that I include a lot of items, anything that comes from the grocery store. And including like when we go to Costco, for example, I include my dog food or the dog food for my dog. So that gets included. So there's some extras. Your detergent, your paper towels. I don't put that as anything else besides groceries. So it's maybe a little inflated. But more importantly was I started going to more expensive grocery stores. For me, there was a convenience factor, and as well, I started eating healthier. I kind of subscribed to the paleo CrossFit lifestyle, so I was eating healthier, or what I consider eating healthier, and all of those items really just increased my grocery bill, and those are the things that affected me. And that might not be why your grocery bill is higher or why your budget expense is higher, but that's where I stand with my groceries. I'm beating last year's budget. So now that there's a couple things that happen, right? So you're tracking your expenses and that you're spending, for me, $800 a month. Now I can make the decision to change my budget, and that kind of goes right in line with the brick by brick. So you have an $800 groceries. And now my goal this year is to get it down to $450, which that's a huge change. That's $350 a month difference. And I have a game plan now. And again, I didn't just come out of nowhere with these crazy ideas. So I saw in my spending that I can buy in bulk at Costco, which is going to be very similar to what I did last year. So we're still buying in bulk. We might buy a little more in bulk for some of the items. So we buy a lot of our, so meats, a lot of things that we can freeze, but there are some, fresh items. and just regular staples. And then a big change is going to be going to a low cost grocery for day-to-day items. So for us, that's going to be Aldi's, which I've tried once so far. It's going to be Fresco y Mas, El Fresco y Mas maybe, which is like a Hispanic South Florida grocery store. It's just a cheaper version, but still has great quality food, vegetables, and as well we have a local farmers market that has a great price, and actually, it's a very good price, and it kind of stays away from, excuse me, it stays away from that expensive grocery store, which is coming up next. So we're actually staying away from, for us, it's Publix. Publix was really expensive for me and for us. And I noticed it, again, by tracking my spending. So I saw that in September, October, November, December, when we moved down here, that Publix was a huge amount for our grocery bill. Now, some of this is we didn't have much for groceries that we took along with us, so we had to re-up on a lot of things that we didn't take with us in our move. But that's only one small piece of it. I was seeing they do a lot of buy one get ones, so I was buying more items that maybe I wouldn't have needed necessarily, and it ended up costing more. So the plan is to actually stay away from Publix, which is almost staying away from convenience, because it's right next door it's very close to where we live. So we made a little bit of a change to reduce the spending drastically. There's only going to be a few items that I focus on with the buy one get one. So I eat, for example, a ton of Greek yogurt. I don't do protein shakes or anything like that. So I eat a lot of Greek yogurt. So it's probably once a month, I buy like 6 containers of Greek yogurt. And that actually has some cost savings to it, because I think it's in between $5 and $6. Who am I kidding? It's $5.69. But we'll be able to cut that in half. And then as well, we're going to use it for like the emergency ingredients. If we're automatically, we need something for groceries, something for a recipe that night, and I'll go ahead and go to Publix to get those items. But I just want to give a quick reminder where we are today. My name is Steven, aka Even Steven Money. We are here live on Money Talk Friday, and I'm happy that you're here. If you are, if you're watching, if you're rewatching any of it, I appreciate the shares, the likes, the comments, the interaction. I enjoy this stuff. Grow your knowledge with me. Enjoy, maybe this fits you perfectly on what you're trying to do and beating last year's budget. Now, this is something that I talked about today on Facebook.com, on my Even Steven Money Facebook page. And Heidi, let me grab a drink here real quick. So I was talking with Heidi, and one of her items is to get better with her grocery spending. And she says, how do I do that? And as a money coach, I've got a couple examples that not only that I personally do, but that I coach. So I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if you get one thing out of me at Even Steven Money, it's to track your spending and to see really how much you are spending. Now, in Heidi's case on groceries, see how much you are spending. There's a couple ways to say this, but if you don't know where you are today, you'll never know how far you've come. Or if you don't know where you are today, you won't know where you're going tomorrow. So there's a bunch of different ways to say it. I'm not even sure who actually I can credit that quote to. I'll say anonymous. I should look that up one day. But so that was one idea. So make sure you track your spending. But then it comes down to making a meal list for the week. So knowing what you're going to eat. So now you're planning. So for example, that Monday, or we'll use Tuesday because Tuesday Taco Day. Tuesday is Taco Tuesdays. So now you have that. meal that you know you're going to have on Tuesday. And then the next thing to do is, okay, if you have, you're eating tacos, what do you need? So now you need, you need beef, and you need a tortilla, and you need, all the vegetables. So you need tomatoes, or maybe you need salsa. So then you add the ingredients to that. And the third item, so making that meal list match with your grocery list. And also just as important is taking that to the store. So you have a list. I go back and forth on having a physical list where you can check off the items versus having it on my phone. I do both in case I forget. But I've been definitely taking my phone with me less and less where I go. So trying to be a little off the phone recently. But also, when we go grocery shopping, and it's easy to fall into this, is to not shop hungry. And as some people call it, don't shop hangry, which is hungry and angry. For example, when we go to Costco, before we actually ever go into the grocery store, into Costco, we will go get something to eat for a number of reasons. One, so we're not hungry. Also, they have good quality food, and it's at pretty reasonable prices. So don't shop hungry when you're going to the grocery store. And now here's an exercise that probably not everyone does, but it's really eye-opening, or it can be. Is so if you go to the grocery store and hey, didn't make the perfect, you ended up adding a couple other items. When you come home, write down the items that you purchased that were not on the list and how much they cost. So if you decided to buy an extra 12-pack of soda and that costs $5, write that down. Have a notebook for it. Have a piece of paper for it that has a list of those items, and just to see what you're doing. Again, it's one of those items where, like, once you start paying attention to how you're spending and what you're spending, your habits will change. And it's not an overnight thing, but it really starts to, open your eyes on what you are spending on. And also, and this is a big one, and this is how I recommend this. It's not for everyone, but this is one way that I personally did well with, not specifically with groceries, but with my coffee and lunch when I was living in Chicago, is to shop with cash only. Now, this is more difficult to do because of credit cards are a thing. They're intertwined in almost everything that we do, but it can be done. You are able to go to the ATM and get cash out. Get a week or 2 weeks worth of cash for your groceries because you have that money budgeted. And you can do it in an envelope system where you put the cash in there and then take that with you to the store. And again, it's one of those items that you really keep track of your spending. So you'll find yourself knowing that, okay, I have, let's say it's $100 for that week, and you're looking for those budget items and adding that up along the way, or even just knowing what you're going to spend that week and not wanting to go over. You can certainly prevent that with bringing a little extra cash, maybe bring 2 weeks worth. But remember that next week when you go to pay the groceries, if you overspent on week 1, you only have that much remaining for week 2. So it's a really great way to curb your spending and, again, see how much you are spending on everything. It can be fascinating. Well, personal finance, money, fascinating. But hey guys, again, my name is Steven, aka Even Steven Money. We're on Money Talk Friday. I'm here every Friday. This week we're talking about how to beat last year's budget. I'm talking about beating my last year's budget in groceries, and also a little taste of something else, which is I think really it's the pillar of what I believe in and what I coach and what I practice, which is the brick by brick, your ultimate guide to financial freedom. So I'm going to talk about that and how that ties in just a moment. So when you're beating So beating last year's budget, I have what I call brick by brick, your ultimate guide to financial freedom, right? If you're unfamiliar, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend to check it out. But to give you a comparison, Dave Ramsey, who's a popular personal finance personality, has his baby steps. And they are simple and they work. But I also feel that personal finance is personal, and a lot of my clients and a lot of what I personally did was different than what Dave Ramsey prescribed. I do not want to put what do they say, a round object into a square hole, square object into a round hole. But so I wanted to take it and really show how this affects, what I recommend and what I use and what I coach. How is it going to affect the grocery budget? So it's pretty interesting. For me, I place a high value on my health and my fitness. So the health side of it is, I believe, and based on my research and what I believe in, is that eating healthy to me is eating, simple ingredients. And so so like 1 to 2 ingredients, stuff that it does spoil if not frozen. So in paleo, for example, that believe more in wild fish and organic, and things that are going to be more expensive. So I place a higher value on that. A good example or a good comparison would be, so when I buy eggs, I buy organic, cage-free, range-free eggs. I believe, and I say I believe, but also, through some research as well, that is better for you. That is better for your health. Now I used to buy eggs that were, actually I didn't buy that much in eggs, but I would buy eggs based on the price. So if they were 99 cents, if they were on sale, didn't really matter, because I was focused more on keeping that expense as low as possible. And that's transitioned over time. And now I'm not saying that value is better, or your value is better or worse, or you should buy better eggs or better better chicken, or whatever the case is, right? But it's just, I chose to have my grocery budget. I spend more money on my groceries because those items are a little more expensive and I value those. But how do I know that? I track my expenses on Personal Capital, and I know that I am spending X amount of dollars on my groceries, and how am I going to improve that or get better with that? So tracking your spending. And once I know that, I can put it into my budget and say, hey, all right, I'm tracking my expenses. I spent $800 last year. I want to spend $450 this year. Let's budget that out. But not only budget it, let's make sure that we can make it happen, an action plan to make it happen. And another item that would, it doesn't affect my personal grocery budget, but it may affect yours. If you are paying off debt or you have debt, I would highly consider, and again, this goes back to recommending, because this is what I did personally. When you have debt that's owed, and if you have debt that's owed, especially on a credit card, if you're then adding your groceries onto that debt, you're really just creating a big circle. And not a good circle, right? Because you're just really going back to where you started. So if you have $1,000 credit card bill, and now you're going to add on $200 every week for groceries, you're just making that credit card bill higher, and you're not reducing the amount of debt that you have. So I recommend, and what I coach others, and what I did was stop all spending on that credit card. It's just not worth it, especially when you're trying to pay off debt. And that's how that's how really the brick by brick and the steps, or that building that road ahead. That's how it affects your grocery budget or beating last year's budget. That the brick by brick guide to financial freedom. It's a pillar of everything that I'm really going to talk about moving forward. And so check it out. It's very important. It should give you an idea of the direction that I'm heading. And if you ever need just a general plan, you can read it, take a look at it, and say, okay, I have a tool now that I'm going to go through step by step, and I'm going to brick by brick, and I'm going to follow these items to get where I want to go. It is the beginning of growing. It is the beginning of getting better with your finances and taking the necessary steps to get there. I'm excited about Even Steven Money moving forward, not only today, not only moving forward, but the past as well. But who am I? My name is Steven. I'm a money coach. My goal is simple for everyone. It's creating that roadmap. It's brick by brick for your financial freedom. Every day I work with individuals and couples, and really it's just changing how they spend and how they save their money. It's getting that customized plan that can help you and hold you accountable, that puts you in a better financial position every step of the way. It's pay off debt, save money, and live a better life today. If you are pumped, clapping your hands, excited, booking a session with me, a discovery session to find out who I am, what I am about, it's so simple. You can actually go to evenstevenmoney.com. Let me provide. Here's one link. This is actually the link to. This will get you right to a discovery session. This is where you can talk to me, see if we are a good fit, see if everything works. The first place, and this can be found on the page as well, but is to check out Even Steven Money and my Money Coach page. Lots of links today, lots of links. But that will give you, it'll talk a little bit more what I do, kind of that tell me more document. Bianca, sorry, I'm pausing right now. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Always appreciate the likes, the loves, the smiles, the sharing. I'm like counting them. They're not actually counting. So I appreciate that. But talking more about the Money Coach, it's what I do. It's how I help out others on a personal one-on-one basis, really changing, again, giving you a plan and changing how you work, how you get better with money. I love doing it. I love doing this. I love doing the one-on-one. I love doing not only one-on-one coaching, but I love doing the Facebook Lives. I enjoy questions. I enjoy all of it. 99% of what I do is free of charge. The 1% is checking out, working with me one-on-one for those who need it, and for those who trust me and understand that I can help you in your financial situation. But otherwise, guys, I'm here every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern on Money Talk Friday. Each week, we got a new topic. I share my story, recommendations, action items, and any questions from you. As always, thank you very much for joining. I'm happy that you are checking not only out this page, but evenstevenmoney.com. I'm here to help. We are in this together. I hope you have a great weekend and a great day today. I'll see you next week.